But Richard, I mean, they're now 3-7. Like, how bad can this really get in Dallas now? Because I'm not seeing many glimmers of hope in Dallas.
The only thing you could hope for is the draft. And people called me crazy when I had that conversation a couple of weeks ago when I was like, hey, they could be picking Shedeur or, you know what I mean, and have Deion as a head coach. And then all of a sudden, every talking head is like, what if the Cowboys pick Deion as a head coach? But when I say it, everybody called me crazy. But I said it weeks before anybody else said it. But whatever, that's the story for a different day. But I think they're going to be picking early in this draft. And if they keep losing, I don't see how they win these games with Cooper Rush. I mean, he only threw one interception this game, but he could have threw a lot more. He got some garbage time yards that made, his stats look pretty respectable. But overall, they're just not playing well. I mean, I guess it's a celebration that they didn't give up 40 at home. Most games at home this season, they've given up 40-plus points. And, I mean, we're not even going to talk about what your Lions did to them because, again, there's still charges filed in Dallas right now for what the Lions did to them. So their defense isn't getting pressure, and Micah Parsons was hurt. DeMarcus Lawrence is out and has been hurt, and so the pass rush has suffered, but Micah Parsons is back. He's not getting a lot of sack. They had one sack on the day. They just look uninspired. CeeDee Lamb had 8 catches for 93, but looked very dejected throughout this game especially when Cooper Rush misses him behind or he drops a pass that was a bit behind him, or he has a miscomm with Cooper Rush, which leads to an interception from Derek Stingley. And I don't see a lot of hope in sight. I think this answers a lot of questions for Dallas fans who are trying to get rid of Dak Prescott and play Cooper Rush, and then we'll figure it out and just draft and do this. Well, Cooper Rush isn't the answer, and you get to see him for the rest of the season because they put Dak on IR. So every Cooper Rush fan, you're going to get your an abundance of it. It's going to be plentiful. You're going to get plenty of tape to see Cooper Rush. And yes, he's going to have to deal with this offensive line who hasn't been great. You lost your left tackle for a little while. Even when he was in there, he didn't look really great. And so I don't know where you go from here in terms of team building, because even when you have your defense getting turnovers, Malik Hooker got an interception in a game off an overthrow when C.J. Stroud was trying to go to Nico Collins on a post route, but nothing comes from it because the offense is just they just don't have answers. And it doesn't seem like they did enough in the offseason, and I think everybody understood that when they didn't go after Derrick Henry, which everybody thought, hey, they're going to throw the bank at Derrick Henry because they need a running back really bad. And I don't even think Derrick Henry could solve your problems, but it would have dang sure helped. It would have dang sure helped people get off your back during the preseason about making a move, because that would have been a huge splash. Derrick Henry in Dallas, I mean, who could hate it? But instead, you went with the guys you have. That wasn't enough. I don't know if they win another game, and people have been saying this all season. I think the Commanders are a better team. They go to Washington. I think Washington has their way and wins that game. They're on an upward trajectory, and I'm sure that will just kill Jerry Jones to lose to a coach that he lost to the system. He lost Dan Quinn, a coach that you could have just promoted. You could have just promoted Dan Quinn and had him run your team, but you wanted another year McCarthy to see how it goes. It's getting worse with time. What are you going to do with Micah Parsons? I don't know what they're going to do, Mitch, because he should be getting paid right now, and the price is only going up unless you're not going to pay him. And I keep saying that because that's what it seems like. I don't hear no contract discussions. I don't hear no negotiations. Like, he's got 2 All-Pros to his name already. First 2 years, he was up for Defensive Player of the Year. He's not this year. He's having an off year this year, but for the most part, he's been an elite pass rusher majority of his career, and a lot of teams would take him. But are you planning on rebuilding with the draft picks that you'd get for trading him? Are you building around him? Like, what is the plan? Because you paid CeeDee Lamb, you paid Dak Prescott. You're not going to pay the pass rusher?
Well, you said it, Richard. Jerry Jones failed this offseason, and he's failed the last couple off seasons by not preparing for the future. And I hate to keep taking it back to my Detroit Lions, but Brad Holmes pulled off a masterclass over these last 2 years on how to be a professional GM. When you extend your guys and keep them in house for year after year after year, I mean, he paid Penei Sewell 2 years early before he had to. He just re-upped Aleem McNeil. He got Jared Goff under contract. He went and signed his number one wide receiver, and Amon-Ra St. Brown. Now he's going to have to look at the safeties and Kirby Joseph and Brian Branch. But at least, he's got an idea of how much his cap space is going to be affected in the future and make sure he's building with the right guys. The right guys are here in Dallas. Why those guys have not been paid 2 years ago is beyond me. And he's starting to have to pay the piper for his mistakes. This national media and their spotlight is going to start to take aim and start to take focus. And I don't know if it's going to be centered so much on Jerry Jones. My guess is it's going to take aim directly at Mike McCarthy. And the question in Dallas is going to be, how long can Mike McCarthy stand this losing streak and what appears to have nothing going right in Dallas? Do you think he makes it out of the next couple of weeks? Do you think he makes it past Washington next week?
Yes, I think he makes it past because Jerry Jones has a human shield right now for his criticism. Right now McCarthy's going to be taking all the criticism. McCarthy's going to be taking all the negativity, the comments. Jerry Jones will get to semi-skate by until the offseason when it's time to hire a new coach. And by then he'll have hired a really good coach. Maybe made a huge splash hire to really, quiet the fans and up enthusiasm and then people all forget all about this season. So I think he's going to let McCarthy ride this season out just so he doesn't have to take the criticism. Because if you fire McCarthy, they'll talk about that for a week, but they talk about the Dallas Cowboys so much that after they're done talking about that, who else is there to talk about? Jerry Jones. We're going to just keep talking about Jerry Jones on his radio show. They're going to be like, Jerry Jones, what are you doing? So in order to really shield himself from that, he got to keep McCarthy. You got to keep him, and you got to let him keep coaching, good, bad, or indifferent. I mean, if they don't win another game, you could be like, oh, it's McCarthy's fault. But if you fire McCarthy and you keep losing, then they're going to be sitting there like, Jerry, what kind of team did you put together? All the mistakes are going to be more glaring, and they're going to start to point the finger at him, the GM Jerry, and what he's been able to do and what he hasn't done. So I think he keeps McCarthy just for that reason.
Well, I'm very curious to see what happens. This is going to be a huge opportunity for Dallas to somewhat turn their season around next week.
And you're saying the Thanksgiving game between the Dallas Cowboys and the New York Giants is Tommy DeVito versus Cooper Rush?
Oh my God. I can't wait to just tune in right after my turkey coma that I'm sure going to be in and trying to keep one eye open for that game, Rich. Holy cow.
Mitchell, they better show other things other than the game to get people to watch this. Is this going to be a Nickelodeon game?
Too late to flex them out of that game, Rich? Or can we just, have an executive decision here to
Mitchell, they would flex them into Neverwary. They would not nobody they gonna flex them and just give both teams an L and be done with it. I mean, God, this is gonna be tough sledding for the National Football League this Thanksgiving. I mean, at least sometimes you got Dallas, you got star power. You'd be like Micah Parsons, CeeDee Lamb, the guys. But when you said Tommy DeVito versus Cooper Rush, it's gonna look like a preseason classic, Hall of Fame game, and I for one am going to be on the plane, and I'm thankful that I'll be on the plane for that game, Mitchell. All right, will I be? I know I'll be in Kansas City eating barbecue or something probably. But
there you go.
I don't think I'm going to tune in to that one, Mitchell. I'll check the box score of that one. Thank you very much.